Hello and welcome everyone. In the series of Java, we are going to learn today data types in the Java. So simple, it is very simple topic that what are the data types in our Java. So in Java, there are several built-in data types which is provided by Java itself. So here we are using them to declare our variables, and we are commonly use data types in our Java are primitive data types and non-primitive data types. So let me show you what are the data types. First I will explain you. Suppose we are having one class called student. Now in that class we are going to see the name of our student, age and its tuition fee. So suppose we are going to see the name of a student is 10 and his age is, name of a student is John and his age is something like 10, and whatever fee he is paying is like $1,550. Now the different data types that you will see here are string, int and double. So the name cannot be like int, or name cannot be like 10, or it cannot be like 15.50, right? So for that we are using string, and in the age section we are using something like int, because age cannot be like John. So for the different requirement we are using different type of data types. So in the Java we are having 8 types of primitive data types. So here you can see we are having something like boolean, long, char, byte, int, double, short and float. So here if you will see, these are the default values of any primitive data type. So for the boolean we are having false, for long we are having 0L, for the character we are having these Unicode values. It is the minimum and default value of character, where byte is having 0, int is having 0, double is having 0.0, short is having 0 and float is having 0.0f. And this is the capacity that you can see here, 1 bit, 8 byte, all those things belongs to all primitive data types. So here now I will go to the second data types. Those are non-primitive data types. Like you have seen string name, which I have shown you in the name of a student. So it is a non-primitive data types. We are having arrays, class, interfaces, enums and object. All these things non-primitive data types. When we will study into the deep in the coming tutorial, I will explain. So we are going to see what are the data types. Now we are going to jump into our IDE and I will create some classes to explain you what are the data types. So now let's check, and I am going to write our class name something like data types, right? So here let's see, we are having one data type. First I will create one main method, and for that I am going to tell. So like I am having int age is equals to 10, and we are going to write it string name is equals to something like text, something like John, right? Also I am going to declare one more variable that is called double, and here I will put something like fee, right? This is very common that I am practicing here. So like suppose we are doing something like 50 and then done. So here if you will see, these are the variables that I have declared, and here int, string and double, these are called the data types. Now what we are going to see, that we are done with primitive data types, and here if you will see that the class is a non-primitive data types and string is also non-primitive data types. Now we were talking about what is this byte capacity and null, and how these are being used and what are their value. So now let's see, here I have told that a byte is having, here if you will see, a byte is having 1 byte, right? 1 byte length. It means 1 byte is always equal to 8 bits. Okay, so now I will show you how we can get their values. So here we are having some range for the byte, that is from minus 128 to 127. So for that I have some code that I will write here, and the code is something like I'm going to copy this code from here. So let me paste some code that I have, code snippet, and I will show you how these things are working. So as of now, forget this declaration that I have done of variable here, and I will show you how this capacity is being calculated. So let me run this program here and we will see the output. Now let's comment this out. First I will show you the minimum and maximum value of our integer, right? So here if you can see, the minimum value of any integer or int is something like from minus 21, 47, 48, 38 and 60, right? And for the maximum we are having something like here, if something like 21, 47, 48, 36 and 47, these are in the lakhs. And if you will see here, one is like 48 and here it is 47. So one number is always less in the positive side, which is a maximum value of any data type. Now let me control Z here and I will run entire program. So the value for the every data type that I have printed, something can be seen here. So these are the value which I have wrote here. You can see they both are same. So here if you will see, they are something like that only. But this is this value that we have achieved with the help of our coding, that we can also do manually. So now let's suppose a byte is a something which is having minimum capacity, which is having a total capacity of 1 byte. 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. If you will see here, 1 byte is nothing but 8 bits. So how we can calculate it manually with the help of some formula. So here suppose what we are having, one formula is something like 2 to the power n minus 1. So n is nothing but we are having bits. So here what we will do, 2 to the power 8, which is a bit, minus 1. So it will become something like 2 to the power 7, and we will multiply 2 7 times, where value will come 128, which is a positive something, right? But if you will see in the code here, the last value is 48 and here one value is 47. This, if you will see the byte, let's see byte only. So here it is saying minimum value is minus 128 and here it is like something 0, 127, 127. Then why one value is less? So here we are, whenever we are going in the negative direction, it will start from minus 128. In the positive it will start from 0 to 127. It means 128 total only. There is not much difference. Now I will show you the default things, default values of any data types that we have in primitive data types. So for the boolean we are having false, and other things like you can see in my screen that I am going to do there with the help of code. So let me copy some code snippet from here which I have written, and I will copy paste and simply I will show you. Okay, so I am going to copy some value here in our class and I will show you how the things are going to work here. Now if you will see, I have declared all the data types here, and I will run this program and I will check what is their default value. So here if you can see in the screen, the default value, if you will see, the default value for the boolean that I have declared here is nothing but false, that I have already shown you in the chart, right? Here it is false. And now coming to the next, here we are seeing that the value for the double is 0.0 and value for the float is 0.0 and value for the int is also 0 and value for the string is something like null. So for the string we are having default value something now like null. Now what will happen in case we are putting some, suppose we are declaring anything like byte, right? Here suppose we are putting something like byte, and let me name as a bytes count. and we are going to assign some value, something like 10,000, right? So here at the time of compilation only it is saying required type byte, but you have provided int. So if you will see here, the minimum and maximum capacity of byte is something from -128 to 127, but we are passing more than 128 and 127. Let me show you. So here it is giving compilation error, something like you have provided the length of integer, but you have given byte, right? So here let me give you the value of 127, which is the last one, and in case we are going to put it 128, it will give issue, like you can see here again. So from 127 it is comfortable, means it is a maximum capacity for the byte, right? So you can see we are not facing any issue, and we are done with our data types in the Java. In case you people are having any problem, you can comment it out in comment section. Thank you. Bye bye.